All right, I'm live. Hopefully my sound is okay. I was talking to my son about improving it slightly, and he suggested acoustic tiles might be the way to go. Cough. Hack, cough, wheeze, die. All right, so this week's books. So I always like to start the books because some people come in late for the art. The book I want to highlight first is the one that just arrived because I pre-ordered it. So I don't know when they're going to arrive, but I pre-ordered every Richard Corman book that Jose Villarrubia is recoloring. And this beautiful thing arrived. And if you know anything at all about Den, you'll know why I'm not going to open this book. There are some pages in it that don't have traditional Den imagery. But it would feel like I'm ripping you guys off by not just flipping through a bunch of pages, and I'm pretty sure that would get this stream listed as adult content. It's absolutely beautiful. The colors are, although they're new, they're just as striking as they were back in heavy metal so long ago. And the wonderful thing about this is most of the Den stuff in here, in this nice thick little volume, Volvum, say that 5 times fast, was in heavy metal when I was going through my first major phase of buying every issue as it came out. It was just that gorgeous. It also had Segrella's The Mercenary, which I think was also something that should be collected in English, hopefully, because I believe it was originally done in Spanish. Just absolutely gorgeous, gonzo, bizarro work. I mean, wow, just the drawing, the anatomy. I mean, there's some weird stuff happening in here, but he was always kind of fast and loose with anatomy rules. Everything looked amazing, but every once in a while he'd do something and like, how the hell does that happen? I mean, his rib cage is going down to there, but his pecs are way up there. I shouldn't say anything. I can show that. And I think there's a, here I am saying I wasn't going to show anything. Here I am showing stuff. So from what I've seen, from what Jose shared on Facebook, I'm not going to go past this page. Corbin pretty much did everything in black and white, and then he colored by cutting film, which to me seems like the most insane approach. But he got these results, very almost Maxfield Parrish type colors. And considering that apparently Maxfield Parrish painted everything in glazes, I guess maybe that's where he got the idea. But such a beautiful book. So highly recommend it if you're a fan of like classic 70s, 80s fantasy art. All right. And so these two books I ordered, I'm trying to remember if it was like just an ad on Facebook or an ad on Instagram. I was getting ads for AliExpress. They keep on like offering to sell. The way it seems to work is as soon as you look at something online anywhere, suddenly you get an AliExpress ad that sells it for like 40% of what you saw elsewhere. But I saw an ad for these weirdly, is just image. Of course, I can't read it. I think it's Chinese. It might be Korean. I'm not sure. Does it say inside where it's published in English? No. Okay, so I'm going to assume they're Chinese because I believe AliExpress is a Chinese company. If anyone wants to, oh, okay, it is Chinese. Yeah. I totally agree with that. Heavy metal, bringing that like top-notch European work into North America and getting the best of the best from North America to contribute. That was amazing. I mean, we all like the new. I mean, of course, how heavy metal collapsed because the people who bought it had no love for the art. They just wanted to see if they could somehow license it and make movies and videos and stuff like that. So of course they failed. And I'm seeing pretty much the same approach from the new Penthouse comics. It's picking up forgettable work from Europe. Some of it's well done, professional, but I mean, they're forgettable projects. I picked up the first two issues and was thoroughly disappointed by both. Anyway, so AliExpress, I saw both these volumes for like one cheap price. I think it was like $60 for this. And it was pure guesswork, right? It's like nice drawings in the front. Some of the pictures they showed were okay. So many times I bought art books that are just absolutely terrible based on a couple of good pictures. But the wonderful thing about these two books, and again, I wish I could, like Human Anatomy for Artists, and I don't know. Um, I can't recommend them. Basically, leave one camera long enough for you to recognize the cover imagery. Am I having a bit of word jerky lag? Yeah. Bisley and Adrian Smith are both heavily influenced by those guys. Yeah. But I love an anatomy book where you don't have to read the language it's printed in to get where they're coming from. Here's a nice little, like using the mannequin to pose out the figure, the gesture for like actual more mechanical drawing. Sizes, ages. There's just, it literally shows everything. Actually, here it uses the mannequin, but actually develops the mannequin more thoroughly. It's closer to almost like the Loomis mannequin here. And it covers everything. It's like here, put some ball joints here to help you place your figure. Surprised they didn't put ball joints on the knees. I think there's a flip book in the bottom part. Yeah, there's a flip book in the bottom corner. See if I can get that on there. That's not going to work. All right, paper's too not stiff enough. Talks about perspective. This would need, for me to try and teach someone perspective with these examples, I'd have to come up with my own text so they'd understand it. And some of the perspective is off, like this figure here, drawing the legs way up to there. That's not quite right. It's not quite right, considering that the pubis, that point, is usually, if you're doing an 8-head tall figure, it's usually at the midpoint. That pubis should be down more. It's like the legs are like way too long, which is a stylistic beat that some artists rock with. So if you like, it looks like he draws his leg, like his thigh bones in particular. Like, oh, he's doing fisheye. Wow, okay. Seeing ellipses in space. Some more figure work. I mean, I'm going to start flipping through faster. The paper quality is terrible. You can see right through it. But the drawing quality is quite strong. Like you can see the skulls. Like the ink is, the paper's so thin that the ink is actually starting to come through on the other side. But I gotta say, the fact that he like dives into monsters and then goes back to human skulls, draws like distorted, like superhero. Like this would be a great superhero comics because he immediately gets into like monstrous figures and stuff. Does realistic stuff so you understand where he's going from. Drapery, hair. Look, I've never seen examples of hair like this, where you break it down into sections and they go do different things. It's I'm going to go through it more slowly over the next couple of weeks and maybe try and see if there's stuff I can lift from it to work with my own work. He's really good. There's some things I find he falls short on, not shorts on. But he's really good. He's got a lot of approaches I've never seen before. A lot I have seen elsewhere. And it's just a really solid book. And the price through AliExpress was crazy good for this much. Like we're like, I think it's 300 pages of content. It's over 300 pages of content. Well, basically back is just a gallery of his work. Guess that might be what it says. Oh, that's cool. I didn't see that before. Yeah, this just looks like he wraps up the last, I don't know, 20 or so pages with just drawings he liked. Oh, that's cool. Some nice brushwork. Guess that's for the gestural type approach. This has this real feel of like what's going on in in anime right now, that type of exaggeration. So it's really good. Yeah, so this one's really, really good. Even the part where he's like just breaking down like monsters figures. Here he does. He's showing where he's putting the mass. Here, I'll put down putting the mass, and like there's some bone coming to the surface there. Really, really cool. Some nifty monsters. Okay, just drawings here. There's some stuff that's in full color, some stuff that's not. So this is just a really, really cool book, and it's and then this one. This is the one that's excuse me. No idea who drew it. No idea what it's called, but it came with this book, which the examples were enough for me to try both. It looks like it covers a lot of the same material, perhaps going through a little faster. Again, it's that terrible, terrible printing quality. Although I love that drawing, but I just wish it was printed, but the paper stock was just a little bit heavier. I have to wonder if maybe this is a private printed edition, because there's these weird ghost edges on the page. I don't know if you can see that. So I'm wondering if like I actually got like illegal pirate copies. I mean, it's AliExpress. I don't know if there's any way to verify what you're getting from there. But so they could have just literally scanned every single page that this artist did and printed their own. This could be print on demand. Print on demand is at this level of quality. I wish, again, just wish the paper quality was like this. Is a nice drawing. It's stepped on considerably because I can see some of this information on the other side, because there's information on the other side bleeding through here. The super fine line drawings of these figures barely visible. It's a cool book. I'm happy to have both. If I had to only buy the one, I would have bought the first one I showed. But and there's a couple other books because of this. AliExpress is now sending me tons of emails, and so I'll probably buy some more art books from AliExpress. Their translation's terrible. There's a drawings of John Singer Sargent book I saw there, and in the photos, it looks like they're using like one of those like apps that generate book covers and stuff from imagery. And the book is like this thick. And there's no way in hell that there's that many pencil drawings by Sargent in one book. So I'm calling scam on that. Just want to verify, because it looks like there's a certain jerkiness with the videos. The sound quality got any of that too? Or are we good? I'm not quite sure the video quality seems, at least it just might just be on my end. And here's today's piece. My initial idea for the Joker was a lot more similar to what I was going to do with. Seems fine. Thank you so much. Very similar to what I did with the Batman. I think everyone's seen. I posted it. Where did I put it? Dig it out here. In this big pile of artwork that's going out to comic art fans in a week or two. Doing a big online sale event thingy. Whole bunch of second coming covers. Why don't I see Batman in this pile? Did I put it somewhere else? That's so weird. I have to double check because I thought I put it aside for this pile. 1 second. Oh, here's. Sorry, just grabbed it. It's probably easy to flip through. So this is some of the covers and stuff that are going to be on sale in the Comic Art Fans thing in around the end of the month. Just Johnny Quest cover just went live on Dynamite. So the Barbarella cover. This is Starfinder, another Johnny Quest. That demon is going part of that. Some of my pencil drawings are going there. Side that got to have at least one witch that goes. Oh, here's the Batman. All right, cool. Nosferatu's, Betty and Veronica. Yeah, I just quit on this one. But yeah, so the Batman turned out all right. I was going to do like a Joker coming in like this in like a different warehouse environment. And I just went, you know what? Too derivative. It makes it look like someone has to buy both. I don't want to put anyone in that position. So I figured, let's see what I can do with just the Joker. And I came up with like a ton of ideas. And I was just, I found a picture of David Bowie reading. And I thought it's like, it's so easy to continually just do the big, like if you've seen me draw the Joker before, I draw the big smile quite a lot. And I thought, how about a smirk? And he's reading like a really dark book. And I could think the darkest book I ever read was The Road. And I thought, okay, what if it's like airport reading? So he's in like airport chairs and he's all disheveled. And there's like a Joker smile. And he's just sitting there reading The Road in an airport. So that's my Joker painting idea. And I ordered some more graphics artboard, the Gator board I use to mount everything. I was going to get some from my local art supplier, and they didn't seem to have what I was looking for in stock. So I ended up going to Amazon. I went, oh my God, so much more expensive than my local guy. And but it turned out if I ordered two of these, the full size, these are 16 by 32 full size. If I ordered two, they're actually cheaper than buying one locally. So I ordered two, and I realized that gives me another big board for big paintings, like the Hellboy piece I'm working on, and two more smaller pieces for smaller pieces, and they fit the 11 by 14s perfectly. Squeezing out some black gouache over here. You know what? I should keep it centered. Now angle the camera a bit. Let me just see what I'm doing. Oh. Put some green painter's tape on the back of this little Ferrero Rocher candy container to just keep it in place so it's at a nice height for my brush. Just gonna spread some water in there. So this should still be wet from my silking and stretching it. Again, I used a matte black Faber-Castell. Here we go. I used a 10B. I find when you go past 10B, they do start getting a little bit of shine back. But again, nice super fine, because I can use my new pencil sharpener to get the line super fine. I get lines that don't immediately, like if I did like quick lines like this in graphite, a lot of them would just lift up with the watercolor. So I use the matte pencil. See, I just want a light little bit of gray, just to start throwing some values down. I don't need anything too dark. And you know, I should actually have a piece of paper scrap here. I keep cuttings of all the paper I work with handy, so I can. Yeah, it's a good. That's like a 30-40% gray. You know, he's gonna be wearing a white shirt. I don't want it to be blindingly white. I want his skin to be white. Just going through, kind of like giving myself some values to bounce around off of. Pretty sure this guy's going to be in heavy shadow, so it's going to be a harder light, implied coming from like a window or something. Just gonna put like a middling value and everything to push it all back. I mean, he usually wears that purple suit. Although it's like I've seen people get really upset when like the movies kind of like take him out of that a bit, like in Dark Knight movies, Dark Knight Returns. Heath Ledger had the colors right, but it was a very different style. Yeah, that worked for me. Um, where it didn't quite work for me, and that was entirely because of the actor, was Jared Leto's. Weirdly enough, I agree with the choices they made, but it's Jared Leto, and I can't give him a pass on anything because he's such a terrible person. Um, I probably should have taped this off. I didn't even think to tape it off. Just running around because I didn't figure out my drawing until today. I've been working on so much other stuff lately. So this one's going to be messier than the bad one. It's not going to have those clean edges. Might do some gouache over this. There's ideas I have that I might just do straight up in paint, which might need to be corrected a bit when I get to the end of it. One point, I was going to give him mismatched shoes. I was going to give him a dress shoe and then a basketball shoe. And now that I'm painting it, I kind of go, yeah, I still kind of like that idea. Like just like he didn't really care like what shoes he was wearing. This is very much again finding a picture of David Bowie reading. I'm sad that Bowie never got to play the Joker. I think he would have been an absolutely stupendous Joker. Wonderful thing about this technique is the lines allow me to get away with a lot of murder. I don't have to be as precise with anything, honestly, as long as these lines are holding everything together for me. So I got a nice mid value on pretty much everything. Let me see if I think I want to pull some of this off here. And even though I got a mid value, I think I want to go a little bit darker immediately around him. I can let that shit bleed together later, but Yeah, I should have taped this off. That was just me rushing. I might actually, in the darker areas here, I might actually go back in and draw some people, but just in brush, keep it nice and loose. Make them pop. Allows me to go darker with the Oh, I finally saw Longlegs. Yeah. Oh my God. Bowie as Fade would have been. Oh my God. You're 100% right there. He was so good and so many things. Weirdly enough, I think the thing he gets lauded for most is Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence. And I feel that Tom Conti and Ryuichi Sakamoto just owned that movie so much that Bowie kind of became almost like an afterthought in the movie that was largely made because of him. So that's a little sad thing. So that makes him pop a little bit better. That's good. Did it again. Let the brush flex when it shouldn't have. Should just use the tip there. Just use the tip. There we go. That's better. Whenever I'm doing the Joker's hair, that's when I most want to go to color because, then you get to do the green. Ryuichi Sakamoto. Oh my God, so good. His passing was a massive surprise. I mean, I think most deep Bowie fans had heard the rumors that he was fighting off cancer when Black Star came out, and then for him to pass away so quickly after was kind of heartbreaking. But Ryuichi Sakamoto just dying like that, it's crazy. Put some darker value in that tie, darker value in that suit. Even though I'm probably going to go much darker with Joker suit. I'm just building up like levels of layers of value here. So I want to shadow going there. Let's get these pants nice and dark. Thin this out. I want to paint into the white a little bit. So what I'm initially doing here, Bowie's Elric. You know what? Everyone's talking about Elric because they now kind of want to see what's his name from the new Game of Thrones, the former Doctor Who guy there, and he's good. But I think they're missing a beat because there's another actor, the guy with the eye patch in Game of Thrones, who I think would be an actual better Elric. He just Elric always felt to me when I got into later, as tragic as he was, there was a evilness deep inside Elric that he wasn't able to escape. He got better about it, as the series of books got, and he became more of a moral character. But he was not a nice fellow. And I think the actor playing the other, essentially the rival male in Game of Thrones with the one eye patch there, I think he would be spectacular as Elric. But yeah, Bowie as Elric would have been. In fact, what's really upsetting, not obviously more upsetting, that was the all the allegations of sexual abuse and such with Neil Gaiman. Um, I wanted to do Return of the Thin White Duke, which was Neil Gaiman mashing up David Bowie and Elric into a story. And boy, did I want to do that. Apparently, it was like everyone wanted to do that. Um, I'm gonna go really dark with this dude, and then I'm gonna blot out the side I want the light on. I want to push those whites down. So Elric Bowie stands out as the Joker with the white skin, because I'll probably do some white airbrush on something like this, just like I did with the Batman piece. And the reason why I'm drawing the jacket so fucked up on the Joker is in the initial Bowie reference pic I used, his shirt was like hanging off of his shoulder. And I thought that was like such a nice, weird addition that I had to do it for the Joker. Like, why not just give him like an equally messed up outfit? Now I'm putting down really dark brush strokes here, with the idea that I'm going to lighten them a bit by hitting them with a wash on top to make them kind of bleed together. And I'll pull some of it out, but it'll give me a nice basis for his pants going forward. The other benefit of working with wash and line is how often you can go back and just bring more line back into a piece. So I could literally come back in with like a pen line and redraw these folds in the pants. And it would work because there was already so many lines extant in the piece. And when I was complaining last week, yeah, it's true. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, none of them were. I think Corum, um, in many ways, Corum was the one who started off the most benign of the Eternal Champions, at least in my recollection in rereading that collection I picked up a little while ago. Um, he's very much, uh, I guess you could call him a kind of like an elite figure. Um, I'm just creating some patterns of light and darkness I want to play with. Yeah. Oh, I was talking earlier. I finally saw Longlegs. Very much worth the wait. It is. Ooh, can I do a spoiler-free review? Um, Decidedly not the movie I thought it was going to be. Um, in the best possible way. I was actually very, very pleased with how much of the movie just went into this kind of gonzo horror space. Um, I honestly don't know, considering the way things are in Hollywood right now, I don't know how much longer it's going to be in theaters. Just going to make this chair darker. Um, and I gotta say, the sound quality, even though it's really, really beautifully shot, I think the sound quality is what really makes this movie worth seeing in the big cinema with that amazing sound system. Um, so yeah, if you're interested in Long Legs, but we're sitting on the fence, um, I really think rush out and see it when the theaters are barely full. Um, that's always my approach. Trying not see movies that are packed. So like the latest showing I can get to, or like a daytime showing during the week, especially if it's not a kids friendly movie, because then you can avoid all the kids. But Longlegs was good. Nicolas Cage was amazing. Um, Alicia Witt, who I'm trying to remember where I know her from. I remember her as a teen actress in a sitcom. I want to say in the '90s. She was really good, really sexy, really funny. I mean, too young for me to say sexy, but she was sexy. Um, and she plays the main character's mother in this movie, and she does a great job of playing this kind of like left behind parent. You don't get to see much of in movies. I thought she was really, really good in that. And I'm blanking on her name now, but she played Sabrina in the Netflix series recently, and the Archie series where Sabrina showed up. Um, this is terrible because after I saw it with the friend I saw it with, it's like I said her name, and it was like, ah, damn it, now it's gone. It's gone. Um, she was also the daughter in Mad Men, if that helps. But she has this great. Can't even say it's cameo because it's actual character, and there's like a nice long scene. But she's really, really good in this. Everyone's really good in this. In fact, I would say the actress um, in the lead, who's got a kind of messed up name. I remember her from It Follows. She was really good in that. She's clearly playing someone on the spectrum, and does so in a way that just works. without being too sensationalistic or anything like that. And it ends about as dark as a horror movie of this type can. But then it has this little zinger at the end of it, and you kind of go, okay, they needed that. One last shot of Nicolas Cage, and everything just works. You see me going over and over a lot of things. A big part of the reason I'm doing that is this is a drawing with very little planning. It's like I do the sketch and then I go to it. And so that means I don't know how dark I want to go in a lot of times. And I know that there's some places where I may go darker. Um, I just realized how white this eye is. I gotta deplete out a bit. Let's get that going out. Nope, too dark. So one of the things I could do is I could take, gotta double check. I always double check because I just don't want to assume based on memory because I don't use this technique all the time. So this is Rotring Tiki Graphic 01. So liquid based marker. And how much pigment do I get to move around with this? Not much. It fades out a little bit. It gets a little gray, but doesn't really go down for me the way I'd like it to. Let me try. Oh, this pen's already dying. I'm not gonna fuck about with that. How about? I think the graphics are immediately waterproof. Oh no, this one. Oh. I think this is one I refilled with my own ink. So here I'm raving about it. I'm like, oh no, it's a mess I made myself. What I'm doing is I'm looking for a nice marker I can put down fine line with and then soften it. So you need pens, check that. It can do real. This one seems to be drying out a bit. Have to grab a new one, but I can check the ink anyway. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of a nice movement from that. So I can put a line down, soften the line down, and but still have a darker tone where I wanted it the most. I'm trying to think where I'd want to. So if I draw with this pen directly onto an area that's still very wet, it actually bleeds the red automatically. Gotta be careful though, because it could actually rip the paper too with my doing this. So even though this incline, wow, look at that. That's coming from me messing with the pit pen I refilled. These dark lines that I just dropped here, which are bleeding immediately because the area is all wet, because they're bleeding a little bit right off the bat, they become part of the watercolor effect. So I get to draw. I'm literally drawing here, obviously, but I'm painting at the same time. If I want, I can scrub in with a little bit of a brush and then get it darker still. And this is still not as dark as I'm planning to go. That should make him punch way above his weight class there. I want that jacket coming down through there. Come through there. And for anyone curious, yes, what I did for the Cormac McCarthy, the road book here, I cheated a bit. I found a copy of the cover. I dropped it in on top of my pencils in Photoshop, and I warped it a bit so I could get it to sit in the angles I wanted it to sit. So a little bit of drawing into there just does something a lot to the whole of the drawing, I feel, to my mind anyway. And on top of that, I can go in with a pencil if I want like a gray line to get a little darker. Soften that up a bit. Get that finger to merge there a bit. And a little bit of wash on top of all that line work makes it all blend together really nicely. So I can also lose the line work a bit, which is a nice technique to be able to just pull out. Say, oh, it's like it was softly erasing. I can even go in with white colored pencil when the paper's more dry, so it won't get shredded. Probably going to go in and do things like white highlights and stuff when I get there. Now, one of the things they teach in composition, and I know they teach this because I taught it in composition for years and years and years, is the eye is going to be drawn to the point of deepest contrast. So you remember how black I went in the Batman piece. So I will be going that dark in a few spots here, but mostly right here, right next to Joker's face. I want that to pop dramatically. So while I'm doing something I would never do in a full color watercolor painting, because you have to plan those, you have to think of those much, much more than I am for this piece. pretty much every pass I'm going through, I'm making one area darker or not. I want this to. I got a weird dark spot right there. I'm gonna probably want to fight with a bit, but I might fix that with white paint. Let's get a shadow here. Nope, it's not coming up. It's definitely going to be. I wonder if I accidentally scraped it with something sharp. Nope, it's in there. No, that's too high. Sorry, too low. There we go. That works a little bit better. So, any questions about what I'm doing so far? I mean, it seems like it's a pretty quiet stream tonight. Hey there. How's about? Go on. Don't keep us all waiting. Yeah, it's bothering me more and more. Looks like it's getting darker. I'm gonna have to. That's definitely gonna have to be a paint fix. That's too dark too. I have my wonderful test paper here, but I'm not using it. All right, I just want. That I want darker. More Batman rogues. Well, I was thinking Mr. Freeze might be really, really cool for next week. Then I had the weird thought. So what if they want me to do like a Kirby guy, like Galactus or something? I should maybe I'm almost up for like holding another poll on my Patreon, letting those guys all decide. Um, Someone who had the unlucky opportunity to sit next to the Joker, probably a traveling salesman. Just wrong place, wrong time. T-shirt and shirt Galactus, the OG, could be funny. Um, no, it's very much based on a Bowie picture I saw because Bowie was holding the book The Road. But yeah, that Nicholson Joker was pretty crazy good. I really want to get in there and fix that little thing. It's annoying me the more I look at it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mute it, hit it with the hair dryer. So I don't want you guys to have to hear this yet. And then I'm going to fix it because I don't like because it's cutting in there and just distracting me. 1 second. Testing. Sound working? Looks like it's working. All right. Jeez. I've been talking ever since I used the hairdryer. I think I had the sound off the entire time. Oh, that's terrible. All right. Hopefully you guys can hear me now. So yeah, I was just rattling off like crazy, all these things. All right. So next week, a lot of great choices: Galactus, Darkside's Plumber, Sandman Mystery Theater Sandman, Dr. Fate, The Thing. Those are all Sue Storm versus John Byrne in a Blizzard. All great ideas. Like if I was going to use this media again, I'd probably do Sandman Mystery Theater or Galactus, because I like the idea of trying to do it like a star field with like these washes and stuff, because then I can do all like the weird cloudy washy effects, and then I can do a splatter of stars across it, and it just looks like stars glowing in space, which is always awesome. Yeah, so I got a lot of good choices. I'll try and make up my mind by Wednesday. Otherwise, I'll do a poll on my Patreon, which allows me to bring up, hey guys, I have a $1 a month Patreon. I'm really, really proud of it. I get to put a decent amount of work up there that no one else gets to see. And a lot of work that I don't get to share for weeks to months. You guys get first look and everything I want to do. No, you're sorry, Charles. I thought I unmuted it after I used my hairdryer, but I clearly didn't click hard enough. My apologies. Yeah, so I have, you can directly support me for $1 a month on my Patreon, which is great. You also, if you support me on Patreon, you get 10% off in my store. In fact, I think I got to put up a new discount code for my Patreon backers. So any art you want to buy in my art shop is 10% off if you're a backer, which I think is a pretty good deal. And I'm on Instagram. That seems to be my main social media posting spot outside of Patreon. But in Patreon, I can post everything uncensored. In fact, just this past week, the bots on Instagram tried to censor 5 pieces that contained no nudity. And were heavily censored where there was nudity in the files that you would see on my Patreon. Yeah. And do I have anything else? I'm working on the fourth arc, Second Coming. I'm doing a ton of covers. In fact, I've been working on this past week. I was working on new Barbarella and new Johnny Quest covers. So the Dynamite people are keeping me happily busy. So yeah, by Wednesday, hopefully I'll make up my mind and I'll do like my little social media post saying what I'm drawing next Sunday. And at some point this week, I'll post a finished version of this. You guys have a fabulous, fabulous week. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already done so here. Apparently that's a really important thing for me to push because everyone on YouTube pushes that. And yeah, have a great 7 days, and I'll see you 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time next Sunday night. Night, everybody.